What's up, nerds? Today I have the Zeos Pocket PC. This is a 8086, 8088, whatever, base machine from about 1992. I think I put it on the intro. Um, it's a very cool machine. They call it a Pocket PC, but you need a pretty big pocket to carry this. But it's very capable for what it is and what it was. I actually had one of these new when they first came out, and I used it a lot. Don't know what happened to it, but I eventually found another one. So this isn't my original, but it's just like it, except I broke the power port on the original. This one does not have a broken power port. But first, I'm just going to kind of show you how it is out of the box. It's is it kind of an instant on machine. It has a backup battery that keeps RAM in keeps your RAM safe even if you take out the main batteries. Um, but it's an MS-DOS 5 machine, and that's in ROM. And it also has this built-in, kind of personal productivity software called RacePen. Never heard of it anywhere but this, but possibly it was used somewhere else. But it gives you kind of your basic, personal organizer type functionality that was popular at the time on dedicated organizers. So let me give you a quick tour of what it has built in. I'll skip file management to start, but um, you've got a planner. It's kind of interesting. You get that nice graphical menu, and you go into some of these applications. It's just a DOS thing with ANSI characters for graphics. But this lets you keep a calendar, basically. I won't go into the full details on how it works. It's kind of boring, but kind of interestingly, it has no mouse or pointing device, at least built in. So it's all keyboard shortcuts, and it's the kind of things you might remember from a long time ago. So like to get out of it, I go Alt F to get to the file menu, and I hit X to exit, and then we're back at the graphical menu. It also has shortcuts keys. So like it says F4 for planner. So if you hit F4, it goes in there. Get out of that, and I think actually that works no matter where you are. So we're in planner. Let's go to to do. It does. Yeah. So we're in the to do list, which um, it's your basic to do list. You can add items and check them off. Oh, it looks like when you exit, it goes back to whatever you were in before you hit the shortcut. Card file is basically your contacts. Also kind of boring. I'll show you the cool stuff in a minute. Information is, oops, that's not what I meant to show you. Information is like currency conversion, time zone, things like that. Nothing too exciting. Calculator, your basic calculator. It has a number lock key, and you can hit that, and there's number keys right in here. So to do number lock, I just do that. So we'll go 8, let's see, times 9. Okay, that didn't do what I want. How do you get to the times? Do I have to turn off number lock? I do. It's kind of not terribly useful. But there we go. Not much to it. One of the most useful parts, though, it has Microsoft Works built in. Microsoft Works for DOS. If we go into that, and this is where I'll show you in a minute, transferring files to this. A way to kind of bootstrap starting to transfer files is using Microsoft Works because it has, we say create a new file here. It has word processor, spreadsheet, database, and communications, which is terminal software with, for serial devices or modem, but it also has like the Z modem download protocol. So that's how we can transfer files to it. But nothing much to this. It's if you ever use Microsoft Works for DOS, this is it. Oh, got my number lock on. It has a very nice keyboard. It's not quite full size, but the keys have good feel to them, and you can touch type on it really easily. It's actually not bad. But let me get out of this. We will not save changes to that. And next, I'll show you file management F3. It's almost like what was the MS-DOS file manager thing called? It's kind of like that, graphical file manager. But you can see here, it's I'll kind of tell you how the system's laid out. You've got A and B drives, which correspond to the PCMCIA ports or slots, and I'll show you how that works in just a little bit. And then you got a C drive, a D drive, and an E drive. C and D are ROM drives. Microsoft MS-DOS and this RacePen stuff and Works are all installed on here. We can go over to it. Let's see, how do we go over to it? There we go. So here's the C drive. This looks like just RacePen installed on it. It doesn't have a DOS directory with all the DOS utilities. It's like a minimal install of MS-DOS 5. The D drive has Works on it, basically. Oh, it does have a DOS directory, though. What's in the DOS directory? Oh, yeah. Okay, so it has a few basic things like format.com for formatting things like this. Interlink and interserve, which are a different way to transfer files. It's actually really cool. Over a serial port, you can actually map drives on another machine to drive letters on this machine. I'm not going to use that for transferring files, but it does work. I've used it a long time ago. The E drive, though, is the RAM drive. They advertise this as having 1 megabyte of RAM, but you get your 640K that you think of as RAM, and then the rest of that is this drive, which is battery backed. So, like I said, if you take out the main batteries, it's still there, unless you take out the backup battery too. But you can read and write to this just like any other drive, and it has put in like these are like the database files for the planner and the contact list and everything. And this is where like the Microsoft Works stuff would go. And I have actually already transferred some files to this, and I put it on this drive, but I'll show you that in a minute. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to transfer files. The way that I'm doing it is I have the serial cable, which is very hard to find for these. I'm glad mine has it. Plugged into a null modem adapter, plugged into a USB serial adapter, since the PC I've got it connected to doesn't have hardware serial ports. But what we'll do is we'll go into Works here. Let that load. A new file. We're going to do a new communications. I'm going to go to Options, Communication, and I'm going to set it to 9600 baud. 8 and 1 is what I want. 1, okay. So I can see my PC behind me, and it is, must be connected. I got to connect first. I already have the PC running Minicom, which is very similar to the DOS-based Telex, if you ever heard of that. Basically, very similar to the Works communication software. So I'm just going to get a couple A's. I'm going to look over, and there's my A's. Okay. So what I can do is I can set up a file transfer using the X modem protocol from the PC to this, and it'll save it on the local RAM drive. I'm going to go over here and start. I just prepared a text file that just says hello. We'll see a copy over. Okay, so I'm going to start my transfer. Control AS, X modem. Find my file here. Okay, so it's waiting. So now on this side, I need to go to transfer, receive file, and I'm going to call it test txt, and hit OK. Yeah, I already tried it once to make sure it works, so yes, I will replace the existing file. Transfer successful. Very small file. So if we go back out of here, exit Works, don't need to save changes to my thing, disconnect, and I'm going to go into the DOS shell here. It's the easiest way to show you the file. So we're already on the E drive. Going to go cd/works and type test.txt. There's my file that says hello in it. So you can use that to transfer files and get things on here. Somewhat slowly because it's serial, and it will only go so fast. But what you really want to do is get something like this running. This is a compact flash adapter with a 1 gigabyte CF card in there. Goes in the PCMCIA slot there. The trick to it, though, is this machine doesn't really support this type of card. It'll support like the SRAM cards, which are generally like 1-2 megabyte, and they're for some reason extremely expensive on eBay now. Luckily, I've got one, but this is the way to go because it holds a lot more. And I can also pop this into a laptop with a PCMCIA slot and easily put stuff on this and then bring it over here. The trick, though, is that, like I said, it doesn't really support this, but there's a person on the Vintage Computing Federation forums that actually created a driver that will allow this to work. So what I did earlier is I copied that driver using the serial cable onto this machine, onto my eRAM drive. That'll allow me to run this. So let's, I'm going to disconnect my serial first because the cable is very fragile, and if I destroy this, which already it's missing its shroud, but I don't want to destroy that, so I'm just going to leave that be. But I'll just hit off real quick, flip it over. Did manage to break the little tab off my slot here, but that's okay. So I'll pop this guy in here. That. I'll bring it back over here. Turn it on so we can see. Okay. So I'm going to go to just the root directory of my E drive here, and so you can see the screen okay. Go back to our DOS shell. Got the CF card in. I'm going to go to the works directory. There's my title, cf.com. Okay, so now we should be able to go to the A drive, and I can. I've already put a bunch of stuff on here, including Windows, which will be interesting. One thing to note, I don't remember how large I formatted the card. It's not actually 1 gigabyte, but at least I don't think it is, but it takes forever for it to calculate the free space. So I usually use dr/b, which will skip that part. But just for fun, let's see, what do we have here? Yeah, there's a lot of space on there. So we now have the compact flash drive working, and we can pop that out and put it in another machine to easily copy lots of files to it and put it back in here. And as you can see on the screen, I've got a bunch of interesting stuff on here I can show you. We're going to do some weird stuff on here that you probably wouldn't really do, like run Windows. It'll run Wolfenstein 3D in CGA. This is CGA graphics. Monochrome, of course, or maybe 4 shades of gray or something like that. I have a Logitech serial mouse. We will hook that up and try that with Windows and do a few other things. But one thing I'm going to do real quick, just for fun, I've got MSD, the Microsoft, kind of diagnostic system checker deal here. It gives us some stats on the system, which would be kind of interesting to look at. Takes it a minute to read everything. Okay, so you can see for the CPU, it's got the NEC V30, V20 over V30. Doesn't know, I guess. We got our 640K RAM, our CGA video, MS-DOS 5. It detects a game adapter for some reason, which, I mean, maybe that's on the board somewhere. It's not exposed to use at all. Here's the drives it sees. Does have the one parallel port and the one COM port. No Windows detected. I do have it installed on the A drive, though. But if we go into, oh, that's OS version. Let's see. I can't see, because it's black and white, what the hotkey is to get to each one of these things. P, there we go, computer. So Phoenix BIOS, it thinks it's an XT, BIOS date 92. Yeah, so kind of interesting. But yeah, next let's go back to the A drive. I don't know why I had caps there. Do my dr/b. Of course, it doesn't. You can't do /b/w. It doesn't work right. But let's go to Wolf 3D. We'll show you that real quick. Someone has created a CGA version of Wolf 3D. It didn't initially support it. I'm going to have to just wait here and see. Oh, it instantly got back the free space. Maybe it needed a cache or something. But just to see how this works, let's run Wolfenstein. Wolf 3DC. Oops, I got to spell it right. Okay, it works surprisingly well. And you can see it starting up here. See, actually, I can't tell. What do I need to do here? There we go. It is sometimes hard to see, what keys it wants you to press, because it's all. Yeah, look at that. You can barely see it. But we'll go ahead and start. New game. Just have the shareware version, whatever that difficulty is there. There we go. It's kind of hard to see, but we can play it. I mean, it's not. There, I got him. It's not super playable, but it's fast. I mean, it looks about as fast as I remember playing this on my, I think, a 386 for the first time in color, probably VGA. But yeah, it's kind of cool. That's Wolf 3D on a Zeos Pocket PC. Kind of neat. I think actually there is a video mode that works better on this that increases the contrast. And then we get our little screen there. I don't think you can still call that phone number and order the full version. But next thing we'll do is let's try and run Windows. Wouldn't that be kind of weird? We will unplug this serial cable, plug it into our mouse here. I can do it the right way. Get this all undone here. Okay. It scooches over a little bit so you can see the mouse. I always like these Logitech 3-button mice. Work pretty well. So one thing we have to do, which took me forever to figure out, so if you ever want to do this, use a mouse. There is a power save setting on this system, and it makes the mouse not work. So we need to make sure that we have, okay, RS-232 is on, power saving is off. If you have that on, the mouse will only work while the button's held down. I assume something to do with some interrupts or something. But serial works when you do it that way, so who knows? So we'll go back to DOS shell, and on my A drive, we have Windows. I already installed it. I just copied all of the I don't know how many were there, maybe 8 Windows. This is Windows 3.0, by the way. Windows 3.1 won't run on this because Windows 3.1 doesn't support real mode, which a CPU like this needs. Windows 3.0, the production version of Windows 3.0 is the last production version that supports real mode. I think a Windows 3.1 beta did, but I haven't tried that. But I copied all the disks and just into one directory, ran setup, and it worked just fine. So let's try it out. Next up, Windows 3.0. Got our mouse here. Just take a second to start up, but you'll see that it actually runs pretty well. A machine with this NEC V30 processor, it is faster than like a normal IBM XT. I don't remember the actual speeds on them, but hopefully this works. It was working. There we go. Okay. Actually, the mouse is hard to use on this little mat. Where is my mouse? Oh, let's see. Well, my mouse isn't working. Actually, nothing's working. Oh, well, I can get into that. Why can't I? Let's go to main. We'll go to Windows Setup. It's showing the hourglass cursor. Let's see what happens here. Mouse Logitech. Let me change that. Just change it to that, kind of the default one. We will restart Windows. There we go. I must have been messing around with it. Picked the wrong option there, but see the cursor moving around there. But like, it's not that bad. This is not too much different as how I remember Windows 3.0 on my 386. So we can, of course, It's kind of hard to see the cursor sometimes. We can, of course, run solitaire. And other than it being kind of hard to see the card backs and stuff, and of course you can't see what the colors are, but you can play without the colors. I'll put an ace up there. That's a two of clubs. Is that a? I can't really tell what that is. Is it a three? Oh, it's a three, of course. But it's surprisingly playable. It's look how that drags. It's not bad at all for what this machine is. I haven't really put anything else on here Windows-wise, but I mean, I assume you could load up a copy of Word and whatever else. Let's go to accessories here. We've got Notepad. Here, how about Paintbrush? That's always fun. Let's see. Let's get the spray can. There we go. In 640K, we've got all this, and it's responsive. Kind of amazing, really. Now you wouldn't have you probably wouldn't have been able to do this when it was new as easily because you didn't have these large memory cards to put in it. You can get SRAM cards. I mean, I've seen them like in the 4 meg range, which you can get Windows in you really tried, you could get Windows 3.0 and probably under a meg. It'd be close. You wouldn't be able to do much with it, but yeah, it would work. Let's do a directory here again, and yeah, it came up straight away. That's interesting. What else do we have on here that's interesting? Oh, how about this? Flight Sim 4. Oh, it went into some loop there. Let's terminate that. FS4, how about that? Oh, what do we have in here? Oh, I put it in, let's go into here, FLT Sim 4. There we go. Okay, let's give that a try. Let's go through the startup menus because I can't remember if I've configured this. Okay, there's our processor type. No, we just gotta press it. Okay, we have a black and white CJ, so we'll pick B. Operating mode is to normal flight mode. Let's not use dynamic scenery or random weather. I don't think we've got a lot of horsepower for that. Function keys on top. And let's not log our flight time. Let's not make it do anything extra. We could use the mouse, but I don't have a DOS mouse driver installed, so I'm just going to hit no. And we have no joystick. So here's Flight Sim 4. It starts up pretty fast. It's actually pretty readable too. Oh, can you hear the sound? Very advanced. So this thing does have a PC speaker for sound. Let's see if I can remember. Throttle up is F3 on Flight Sim 4. See if we can take off here. I assume the arrow keys will adjust our, you can see there, that shows how our controls are positioned. Let's see, we're at 50 knots. Oh, okay, here we go. Oh, stalling. Bring the nose back down. Yeah, there we go. You see the skyline of Chicago over here. We can go over and check out the Sears Tower. Oh, whoa. When it turns, it seems like it gets a little less responsive. But it does work. You kind of have to outthink it here. You got to plan way more ahead than you would on a machine that's more responsive. Let's check out an outside view. That's the tower view. Here's the chase view. Oh, I'm going to crash. But it works. With some imagination, you could probably play this pretty good. Yeah, well, here's the kind of flyover view. There goes the control tower, Meeks Field in Chicago. And eventually, there is our Cessna somewhere on runway 36. There it is. Yeah, it works. Let's exit that. How do you exit? Quit 7. We do want to quit. So that's kind of all I have to show you on this. It's a surprisingly useful machine, and you could do something kind of silly with it, like hook it up via serial to a Raspberry Pi W and just use it as a terminal. You could type on it really well, and I bet it'd be pretty responsive that way. Um, yeah, you can play some games on it. I tried a few different things that didn't work, like Scorched Earth wouldn't work. I guess it doesn't support CGA. Um, but yeah, it's a neat little machine. Um, there's this is a Zeos Pocket PC, but it's actually like a branded version of I want to say Tidal Wave is the maker of the original one. So you'll see ones that look just like this that don't say Zeos that have basically the same configuration. It's also very similar to the HP LX 200 or 95 or any of those. Um, I don't have one of those anymore. I used to, but they've got like kind of a chiclet keyboard, kind of hard to type on. You could actually do stuff on this. Like I definitely use this to write things in Microsoft Works, just like you would on any machine, and it works just fine. But yeah, that's it. This is a kind of a cool little machine. One thing you always have to do if you're using that CF cards, you got to take it out when you're not using it. There's some power management features that don't work on it with that little driver. But yeah, this is it. I'll post a link to the Vintage Computer Federation forum where you can download that driver. If for some reason you have one of these and want to try using a compact flash card, and I know I've seen a lot of people on there saying that certain ones don't work or they don't physically fit right. This one right here, which I got on Amazon, works perfectly. Fits right in there, and it works great. So, but yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching.